Good evening, I'm Julia.
And I'm Annie.
And we want you to know that we work hard for you.
We spend hours slaving away in front of the television, watching episode after episode, all to bring you the best updates on what you should be watching and what you shouldn't waste your time on.
It's a labor of love, and we're happy to bring you the latest updates here on The Couch.
In the shadow of awards season, it's easy to overlook newcomers to the small screen.
But we have not forgotten about this year's mid-season premieres. So tonight, we bring you our 2 cents on what's hot and what's not.
So in no particular order, beginning with 0 Hour. Now we saw the trailer for this, and I thought it looked a little cheesy, but I thought it had potential to be awesome. I was wrong. It was really cheesy, and that wasn't the worst problem with it. The worst problem, for my money, was that they didn't spend enough time setting up the situation or the characters. So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why anybody was reacting the way that they were reacting, and I didn't care.
So should you be watching this? Well, you can't. It got canceled after 3 episodes, and it's kind of clear as to why. Our next show is NBC's 1600 Penn. Kind of a generic Washington presidential family show. It's funny, it's amusing. Nothing terribly innovative or new, nothing terribly offensive or crude or anything. So, you know, it's middle of the road.
So should you be watching it? You can.
I mean, if you like seeing Bill Pullman typecast as the president, I would say yeah.
Although you do spend a lot of the show waiting for aliens to invade.
This is absolutely true.
And for my money, if you're gonna watch a presidential comedy, you should watch Veep, because that's really, really funny. Next on our list is Do No Harm, which I always think of as being Jekyll and Hyde, but it's not. But it is Jekyll and Hyde. It's about a doctor with multiple personality disorder, and it was kind of a muddled mess. It tried to do a lot of things, and it couldn't really do any of them well.
So should you be watching this? Well, you can't really watch this one either because it got canceled after 2 episodes.
Which seems crazy to me, because if I was going to give one of them 3 episodes and one of them 2 episodes, I would definitely have given 0 Hour fewer episodes, because it was the worst show.
Yeah. If you're going to watch any Jekyll and Hyde modernization, I would look for Jekyll on Netflix, which is a BBC production. So our next show is NBC's Deception, kind of your run-of-the-mill cop drama. I called a lot of plot twists in the first episode, and most of them panned out by the end of it. I'm still kind of waiting to see if I called the rest of them, but since I haven't really bothered to keep up with the rest of the season, it might be a while.
Should you watch this one? This is another one where we don't really feel strongly either way. It's not a great recommendation that a show that's all about, you know, tricks and plot twists, and if you can guess all of the plot twists in the first episode, that's not a good sign.
No. I would say very good detail, not very good structure.
Next, we have The Carrie Diaries, which is the prequel to Sex and the City. Now, I felt going into this, I didn't think that it was gonna be my cup of tea. And it's not really the kind of show that I'm gonna keep up with every single week. That being said, I had the same reaction to this show that I had to Sex and the City, which was to say that this is really good. It's a really good show. It's not my personal kind of show, but that shouldn't stop you from watching it.
So should you be watching this? Well, it kind of depends. Are you a Sex and the City fan? Because I think you'd really like this show.
Even if you're not a Sex and the City fan, it's still a really, really solid show, and I could understand what was going on in it, not being a huge fan of Sex and the City.
I was surprised at how smart it was. I also think it's worth noting that somebody in the CW is a really big Doctor Who fan. Carrie Diaries has Freema Agyeman in it, who played Martha in season 3.
And then Arrow has John Barrowman, who plays Captain Jack Harkness, and Alex Kingston, who plays River Song. So, somebody has good taste.
Yes. Our next show is Red Widow on ABC, and I was actually surprised by how good this show was. A lot of times in these sort of mob dramas where the husband dies and the wife has to take over and deal with all of his mess, I don't like them because I don't like the lead character. The wife always is kind of whiny and mopey and irritating, and that is where this show really shines. Radha Mitchell as Marta Walraven does a great job of playing this strong, capable woman who, albeit is thrown into this world that she really has no clue about, but she does it. She handles it and she makes it work. I think the show is written really well. I think the characters are established really well. Her husband in particular is really warm and gentle and loving, and you understand why she loves him, and you understand why it's such a tragedy when he dies, which I think is great, and it's kind of the opposite of what 0 Hour did.
So should you be watching this? Yes. This one gets a solid recommendation because it's a really good show. That's really all there is to say about that. Next up, we have Cult on the CW, which is about the cult following of a TV show called Cult on the CW. It's a little hard to explain, and I think that and the fact that it's so wrapped up in television culture and fandom is going to work against it. It has kind of a narrow appeal, but it is really good. And it is a really engaging drama in addition to being a really interesting commentary on the interaction between television shows and fans, which I'm interested in.
So should you be watching this? I would definitely say yes, especially since it started out airing on Tuesdays and has since been moved to Fridays, generally considered a death time slot. Now, the Friday death slot did actually boost ratings for a couple of shows. Supernatural was one, Fringe on Fox is another, so it could work in Cult's favor, but I would start watching now before you can't watch anymore. Speaking of cults, our next show is Fox's The Following. This show is really well crafted. I think I spent the first episode trying to figure things out and predict what was going to go on, and then with each successive episode, I have stopped trying to predict what's going to happen because I'm so caught up in what is actually happening, and I think that is the biggest recommendation I can possibly give any show.
So should you be watching it? Absolutely. Basically, you don't see television this well crafted very often, and it's even rarer on network television.
Great acting on this, great writing. I will give it one caveat. It is terrifying and disturbing.
Yeah.
Because it's about a cult of serial killers. So I do not recommend watching this show before bed.
Yeah.
Or if you are squeamish, just don't watch it if you ever plan to sleep again. Oh, we didn't do Golden Boy.
Do you want to talk about Golden Boy?
But new show premieres do not stop in March. In fact, there will be several over the next few months. The two that I'm looking forward to the most are Hemlock Grove, which will premiere April 19th on Netflix. So this is going to be another show that will premiere in its entirety. You can watch the whole thing in one sitting, or you can space it out to your heart's content. Hemlock Grove looks kind of like a cross between True Blood and Twin Peaks, and I'm a little excited. I'm getting excited for it. I'm ready. Also starring Famke Janssen as some kind of femme fatale who's possibly evil and an actual man-eater who eats men. The next show is Graceland on USA Network. That's coming out this summer and stars Aaron Tveit as an FBI agent who's going undercover and doing undercover things. If you don't know Aaron Tveit, he was Enjolras in the latest Les Mis from Tom Hooper. We like to call him the Stare because that's stare. Dear God, that's stare.
So speaking of new things, Sherlock has finally started filming after teasing its fan base into a frenzy with photos of the set and little tidbits of news from the actors. So that's nice. That's nice. We've also had some new trailers come out for Iron Man 3 that looked awesome. You got to see more of the Mandarin and you got to get a better sense of what was actually gonna happen.
It's less of a teaser and more of a proper trailer.
Which was exciting. And there was also a new trailer for Star Trek, and in addition to sort of the darker, heavier notes, we got to see some more of Captain Kirk not playing by the rules like Captain Kirk does. And we got to see Benedict Cumberbatch with his coat collar turned up and looking cool. So that's very exciting.
And so that's what we're excited about this week.
Join us again next time.
And until then,
Keep watching.